Yes, hello, those interested, concerned, and can take action to stop these criminals. And I take no responsibility for this, what I'm saying, and what I've said about this aunt sleeping with a man. The force has been telling me, and I've confused it. It was not January 1980, because then the baby girl would have been born in September 1980. I apologize greatly for this confusion and what I'm saying and what I have said in the previous video recording, voice recording. It cannot be so because it has to be in, again, January 1981, and this man was married, and he was not in Karachi. In Urdu we say, "Mera to dimag kharab kar diya inhone." I get confused, flustered, and but I don't know, is this Hazrat Fatima Zahra Salam Allah alayha? Some of the things I sense that this Daulat's spirit told me. Whatever she told me in the beginning of these fits and like possession type energy and voices started to come, watching, feeling. Well, whatever she told me about her daughter has come true, and that's the only thing she told me. She was telling me that her daughter will get married to an Abbas. So I was thinking, does she want her daughter to get married to my brother Abbas? However, I apologize for the confusion very much. And the thing is, my condition is such that I get confused. However, some of the things are true, like signs and everything coming, but I cannot make out what really is true. Although that one thing that Daulat's spirit told me in the beginning came true later for her daughter. And yes, her daughter is a Virgo like I am. So you may think that I've made up these lies and stories. I'm sorry, but I haven't made up any lies or any stories. I got a bit confused about 1980 and 81 and September. So that is my fault. I mean, my condition. And what this disciple, so-called, of Hazrat Fatima Zahra, Salam Allah alayha, and they stop me, and then they make me believe in certain things. Some of the things I don't know if they are true. But this can be true because January 1980, the girl is... the baby girl that was born after my sister was 8-9 months after, or something like that, months after. So the man was already married and didn't come back to Karachi. But it is true that this woman, Daulat, came to my birthday. Sorry, this lady came to my birthday, 1980 birthday, and she even danced there, on songs, and the man was there too, in my 1980 small gathering birthday. And that I don't remember in 1983, this my mother's sister ever coming, the second eldest sister ever coming to my birthday, when so many people were invited, when Miss Dessa was there. And so the last video I recorded was also the criminal analysis and adulteress mother's son being a criminal. And so it was my analysis how David Qasim could be against us and could be one of the suspects that I'm getting very strong feelings and have been getting that someone had assaulted or attacked my principal, Mrs. Munira Gulzar. And I don't know why that one day in London I did what I did, laughingly, joking, being high on Pepsi. I don't know what happened to me. I started to tell my friend that I was raped and at Pearl's Court and going on like this. And yes, for surely my heart has been very hardened. You know how before, about David Qasim, I knew so many things, but I could not tell my friend whom he had contacted without taking my permission. And then he had said, I'm paranoid on the email. He had said that I'm unnecessarily paranoid. Drop it, he told me. And then I spoke to my other aunt, what to do, because in even though he had done something unethical and I didn't like it at all, I was scared for my if he proposes to my friend or something, and then he had battery and assault his wife, his first Russian wife, and then would call me and talk to me. So I know all about it, and even more through his sister, the way he was hitting her, throwing her on the wall, taking her and throwing her against the walls. So before all this, I used to keep quiet and not, it was considered bad to bring out things, sins or wrongdoings, and we were told that we would be forgiven so many times. So many of our sins would be forgiven if we covered up one sin of another person. And also because we never know who can change and whom God forgives. He can forgive a disbeliever and change a disbeliever into a believer. So we're not the ones to decide and come to conclusions about people. We never know. A kafir, a disbeliever, can become a believer, and a believer can become a kafir, a disbeliever. So we're not the ones to judge, and we're not supposed to talk about people's sins. But there are some people who don't forgive, and through prejudice or whatever their reason is, they don't like us, so they can avoid us. Even in relatives, family members, we can avoid each other if we don't like each other. But to insult someone and keep insulting and to hurt them out of prejudice, out of our conclusions that this person will remain like this no matter what, once and forever. But we never know. This is the way some people think, that we should not bring out the sins of others and expose them. However, with me, the condition, and I felt that this force, even now I feel that this force is compelling me to say it, has disturbed the living daylights out of me for so many years. And my principal's painful voice I've been hearing. And then I've been hearing voices telling me that my principal, God forbid, some woman was raped. And like this. Or, but the voice of my principal, and there was a time in Karachi, I wanted to come to Dubai. My father went to London, and I wished that he had taken me or something. It was for my stepmother's treatment. Because you know why I wanted to leave this place that I loved so much? Because the voices of my principal, very bad ones, painful screams, were thrown at me. And at that time I would get a very bad nervous breakdown, very bad. And I would go into my mother's room, and at that time I just, would need a familiar bed and place to be in. And to change at that time, my bedroom would not be right for me, but psychologically would not be right, because I want to be where something, my familiar, my cozy room, even though there was nothing now cozy about my room. It was all like it was like a radio, my voice going out, people hearing, seeing me, voices, very bad, vulgar, abuse coming to me, my privacy violated like anything. So now recently what the force has been at is that this lie they have been telling me, that this woman, Daulat, my mother's second eldest sister, had a daughter, slept with this man other than her husband. And this wedding that took place, and he was coming there, and he was there for my birthday in 1980, and so was she, and she danced and everything. So I got confused about the date of birth of her daughter, who was born in 1981, not 1980. And it cannot be that this man slept with her. So this I've got wrong, and I feel very bad, and so bad that I can't say. But it's come like this to me, and it compelled me, because I have certain, what David Qasim did to my housemaid, and what Daulat did in London, provoking me. And this is how my insight has been, that I'm provoked and that I have to speak out. So I suspect something went wrong with my principal, and someone has read my diary and all the things, and the suspicions I have are very strong, and there are some incidents like bomb blast, hoax bomb blast in Karachi, and then in Dubai court. So I suspect David Qasim. And if something's happened to my principal, then I'm not going to, I have to take action. I'm not going to leave this like, be silent about it. And some things come out which are a mistake or which are wrong, and all this disturbance and craziness, torture, I can make mistakes, and I apologize greatly for this. But one mistake cannot deter me from finding the culprit and bringing justice and social reform and social justice and welfare. This will continue. I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry if you are innocent and this force is telling me something against you. I hope you will understand. And I don't mean to be malicious or anything. And I can't be like before, the good person, the quiet, the silent, dignified person that I was, sober, dignified, and would always want to solve this problem with the person in a private matter, in a private room, in a private way, and not discuss my, the problem that I have with another person, with a third party, not discuss my problem with one friend to another friend, and not be prejudiciously hating someone or disliking someone, and things like that. The way I was, I've changed. Because of this week, I don't know what this force has done. If I may say so, black magic can change a person from acting from a higher self to bringing that person down and acting like from the lower self. So this is what this force has done. And my advice to me also that I've broken was that if someone betrays your trust or, takes things, steals things away from you, you're supposed to not get disturbed, like let them, and God will decide, and keep it on God. So these things are not working for me and haven't been working in this weakness and insanity. Yes, and some of the characteristics of people who have done wrong, and I've seen them doing wrong, like I saw Daulat doing wrong in London. Later on, I've seen how calm they are. And even in London, how calm they are. Like she just told me very calmly that she had seen what I had written and kept it for her to see in my room. So very calm, collected. They don't lose their bearings or get shaken up. They shake up other people. They provoke other people. And the way she came and told me, that her husband had taken her out of the car in the middle of the road. Her two sons were inside the car, and so her two sons could have blamed me at that time. And why not? Seeing the mother the way she was, calm, cool, with me, she came nicely to tell me, gently, so that I would feel regretful and, not say it again. But nothing about what she had, no apologies, how she had abused my father, and or abused and or cursed my father at that time. So nothing about that, but that her husband, even though the truth came out from my mouth, her husband had taken her out of the car in the middle of the road, and so not to say anything. I mean, I felt sorry for her, and that's what she wanted me to feel. And but her behavior, like I can't talk like her, and so nicely. And yes, there was a time when I had my own life problems. Well, even now I do, but this time, like I'm telling my problems out. Before, I never would, because I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. And I don't know what's happened to me. I've been hesitating to accept my mistake and say sorry to His Highness Aga Khan, who told me not to say this, and why I was compelled, and God knows best. And all this I was saying, I was myself saying Astaghfirullah. And so I'm very grateful to His Highness Aga Khan. I mean, our religion, we are taught to repent. And when in our majlises, when we're told off, we had this very soft, mellow, submissive, yes, like, yes, we know we've done wrong, and we should try to do our best, but not excuse me. Yes, not be rebellious in our mind even against the Maulana, the religious scholar, when, like when a mother scolds us. So it's how my nature is that I would apologize and ask God for forgiveness, feel guilty, and say, yes, we need to, yes, hit us. And I would hit myself even, to become a good person, and remind us, admonish us, scold us. I wouldn't mind before. And now, I don't know, this rebelliousness has taken some height that wasn't there before. Yes, and this stubbornness. And so I apologize greatly to the people and the mistakes where I've made, where they are innocent. not guilty. And I apologize to His Highness also publicly, His Highness Aga Khan, not to have listened to what he was telling me, not to say in the previous video what I said. Yes.